I'm co-host Jim Pollock.
I'm Tom Lang, and this is Open Throttle 360.
Open Throttle 360 presented by D&D Salvage, buyers of all types of scrap metal. Best prices, best service. For more information, visit dndsalvagepittsburgh.com.
Welcome to another episode of Open Throttle 360. We're at Iceman Motorsports, the shop of Mike Norris's dirt late model team. Joining me is our co-host for today, Jim Pollock. Jim, thanks for joining us here on Open Throttle 360.
Thanks for having me on Open Throttle 360. I'm really impressed and enjoying this.
You're heavily involved in the world of motorsports. You're the announcer at Sharon Speedway.
Yes, I am. Been there a long time. My second stint, I've been there since '83. My first stint I did about 4 or 5 years when it was asphalt.
And you're also my partner on High Octane Race Talk on Cool 101.7 in Meadville.
Yeah, it's something I always looked forward, wanted to do years ago, and we got hooked up, what was it, probably 8 years ago, and I'm loving every minute of it.
It certainly is a lot of fun, just like this show is.
Oh yeah, definitely.
In addition to your media and announcing duties, you're also the dispatcher at Mays Towing in Warren, Ohio.
Oh yeah, that's a little different animal on itself, and this kind of helps me with the talking and stuff, get through the day at work.
Well, you guys had a large contingent of racers went to the Jack Frost 150 at Mercer a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, we had 4 gentlemen, one unnamed mystery driver that didn't want to be recognized, but it was a great day.
Well, last week we showed all the preparations for the Jack Frost 150. Let's go and take a look at what happened once they got on the track.
Preparations have been made, prognostications have been levied, paint jobs have been carefully crafted, and anticipation is at a boiling point. And it may be the only thing that is on this cold afternoon in January.
So let's just bow our heads and ask God to be with us. Heavenly Father, we're grateful that we can come to Mercer Raceway Park.
If nothing else, the Jack Frost 150 is a race of attrition. This isn't about drafting, this isn't about handling, there's not much setup involved, and although there is the occasional bump and run, this race is about endurance and occasionally being able to see. This isn't the first rodeo for the boys from Mays. They know the drill.
You got to maintain mostly.
The trick to winning is probably maintain.
Try to maintain, try to finish.
The talk is cheap, and although maintaining sounds easy, they may soon find out that surviving is probably more accurate. Early predictions of a clean, icy race apparently missed the mark.
Well, they were nervous about it turning into mud, but I don't think it's going to. It's real cold, it's going to be hard, slick.
While the sun brings enough comfort to subdue the sting of sub-freezing temperatures, with it comes enough thaw to turn cold and clean into mud and ugly.
3, 2, 1. Let the good times roll. Here we go. Jack Frost Enduro 150 is underway.
As Travis, Kenny, Mike, and the mysterious 4th driver take to the track, the biggest unknown is whether they will tame or be tamed by the elements. The first of the Mays boys to fall victim is Kenny.
I just kind of got caught up in a couple accidents and kind of got my ball joint broke. I thought it was a flat tire. Well, here it wasn't a flat tire. Well, here it's a ball joint.
Mike is soon to follow, and like a half-struck possum in the middle of a 4-lane highway, is forced to sit and hope beyond hope that another fateful hit isn't on the way.
We've got a major problem on the racetrack.
Got caught up in a pile up and something broke on my front end. The guy got me on the left front tire. Good, I felt a jolt. And I thought I could move a little bit. I pulled up, thought, well, I'm okay, still got wheels. Drove about 5 feet and I think the axle came out of the transmission.
Ultimately, Travis must have bet on the same horse as Kenny and Mike and found himself with the other two on the outside looking in thanks to a trashed radiator. 3 of the Mays boys are done for the day. The fate of the team now rests on the shoulders of the mysterious 4th driver to maintain and bring it on home.
If you're looking for parts for your car, truck, or van, you gotta come to Millerstown Pick a Part. We have the area's best selection of parts and we let you pick it yourself. We offer the lowest prices around, or if you'd prefer, we'll find the part for you. Millerstown Pick a Part. Parts for newer cars, classic cars, foreign cars, trucks, and vans. Located in Serena, Millerstown Pick a Part is right up Route 28 from downtown Pittsburgh. Millerstown Pick a Part, 724-224-4777 or online at pickapartyard.com.
From complete restoration to custom paint to custom fabrication to resto mod, Bruce Harvey ProComp Custom offers a variety of services for cars, trucks, SUVs, and motorcycles. For more than 2 decades, ProComp's award-winning work has blown away customers all over the globe. Whether it's hot rod, muscle, vintage, or classic, ProComp will work with you to design a look that'll turn heads. Visit Bruce Harvey ProComp Custom at procompcustom.com.
As I mentioned, we're at Iceman Motorsports, home of Mike Norris Racing. This is Mike Norris Sr. that's with us now. Mike, thanks for having us here today.
Well, I appreciate you coming to our shop. We're pretty proud of it and like to show it off. So.
Now, you used to drive, correct?
Yeah, I drove for 28 years and I was pretty much burned out on it. And my son was real young, but he showed that he wanted to race and we went into the ownership role.
So you got 3 cars here at the shop. Do you race all 3 of those cars at the same time?
No, one at a time. We're running Lernerville Speedway and Pennsylvania Motor Speedway, and we just purchased this car. We bought a used car and kind of made it our own, and we're planning on using it as a spare because we're going to try and run for points at 2 tracks.
Now, I know the setup on the late model is critical. Is one of these cars set up for each individual track? They got their own setup in them?
Yeah, they definitely do, and they're not altogether that different, really. Once you find a sweet spot that your driver likes, I mean, there's definitely differences, but they're close.
So you usually have a spare car in the trailer, though?
Yeah, somewhere in between the 2, we have it set up if you need it Friday and roll it out. You know, that's the theory anyway. We haven't done that too much, but.
Now, a dirt late model, it takes an awful lot of work between races.
Oh, it's a ton of work. It takes about 40 hours if nothing's broke, just maintenance. You have to check so many things on these cars.
Well, this car here, it's gorgeous. There's not a mark on it. I have a feeling it hasn't seen the racetrack yet.
It hasn't. We're going to take it to the car show and hopefully it'll stay that way.
Now, you said you passed the driving on to your son. I believe that would be Mike in the background there.
That's him, and he can work on them too. So.
Well, last month we were at the Pittsburgh Circle Track Club Old Timers meeting, and we had a chance to do an interview with a man by the name of John Hafner, and I'll bet he's older than both of us put together, but man, he's got a lot of energy. Let's go take a look at what John had to say. We're not gonna make a star out of you.
Oh, you have to.
Well, I'm not a star yet.
Well, you will be when I get done with you.
Okay.
There you go.
Joining us now is John Hafner. John's one of the most seasoned competitors in the area auto racing, and I say seasoned because that's a nice way of saying old.
Old, yes. You want me to tell you how old I am?
Okay.
I am 86. Now what?
When is the very first time you went to a racetrack? Were you a fan, a racer?
I was a racer. I had a car that was a 5-window B model coupe, and I was the champion at Green Valley, and I was also the champion at Valley Speedway in Aliquippa. That's 2 tracks. First year you race. Try that.
What year was that?
1953.
Okay, that was before my time.
No.
I was only born in 57.
Holy Christ, you wasn't even in diapers when I was racing.
What class of racing was that?
All they raced back then was coupes. And I won the first race at the Green Valley Speedway. Buddy O'Connor was promoting it, and Gus Linder and Dick Linder, and he just invited all his buddies there, and I kicked their bums.
Gus Linder, Dick Linder, Buddy O'Connor, that's like a Hall of Fame right there.
Oh yeah, no problem.
So you raced against all the big names in this area?
Yeah.
Between those days and what you see out in the racetrack now, what's the biggest difference?
Nobody builds their cars anymore from a junkyard. You'd go to a junkyard, get your stuff, put it together, do what you had to do, and go racing with it.
Of all the races you've won in your career, what was the biggest, most important race that you won?
The first race at Green Valley Speedway.
That was your most important win?
Yeah.
So it was all downhill after that?
Oh yeah, clean house.
What's the biggest challenge you see facing the modern race car driver?
Money.
Takes a lot of money to make them go.
Oh yeah, the more money you got, the faster you go.
John, you've been a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I want to thank you for joining us here on Open Throttle 360.
Yeah, and tell them I look like Jack Nicholson.
They can figure that out for themselves.
Oh,
yeah. This is Tom Lang reporting for Open Throttle 360.
Open throttle. You mean wide open throttle?
Yeah, that's where the name came from, Wide Open Throttle. It's the way you used to race, right?
Yeah.
Moving on from the older generation of racing that brought us into this sport, we're going to move on to the younger generation, which is now top of the heap, Danny Holtgraver. For Open Throttle 360, I'm Jim Pollock. With me today at this great benefit we got going on here at Tiffany Manor, this is Danny Holtgraver for all you sprint car fans. And Danny, welcome aboard.
It's nice to be here.
Danny, you spent a lot of time with the All-Star Circuit of Champions racing this year. And I can remember you started up, you ran Sharon, you ran Lernerville, you ran Mercer when you started out here a few years ago. And what brought you to this point where you're at now?
We've been racing forever. Did start out Lernerville, Mercer, Sharon, Tri-City, all these tracks. Ended up winning the championship at Lernerville in 2010 and just decided it was time to start traveling. We were able to do it a little bit, and then the All-Stars split up into regions, and that helped us out even more. And we've been able to run a lot of All-Star stuff and Outlaw stuff and just, move around, and I've learned a lot, and it's been a great experience.
You know, the traveling with the All-Stars, you put a lot of miles on your equipment all season long, but how's that wear and tear on the driver?
It's not bad. I like it. I'm young, so I can, I enjoy it. That's what I want to do is race, and I like traveling, going up and down the road, and racing a new racetrack every night. And you meet a ton of new people. You learn a lot. It's just a great experience.
From my experience, there's usually not a lot of help in the sprint car ranks. You usually have 1 or 2 guys with you. How many guys did you keep with you?
It depends. It's usually, there's a lot of nights where it's just me and my dad, but I got a lot of guys that come around, a couple people from Ohio. The last half of the year from Knoxville on, we had Brian Kemino helping us out. A couple buddies from up in Ohio, guys from around here, and whenever we're local, there's about 35 people around. So it's, it can range from whatever, but there's a lot of nights where it's just the 2 of us.
Successful season this year with the All-Stars for yourself?
Yeah, I won my first All-Star race during Speed Weeks at Attica, so that was pretty cool. And then we ended up winning 2 more at Lernerville and Wayne County. but we won 9 races altogether, I think, 3 All-Star shows, a Midwest All-Star show, Auto Racer for Kids charity race at Mercer, and yeah, it was definitely a great year. We're up front every night, and everything kind of clicked all year. Had a lot of good luck, and it was fun.
Plans for 2013 and some sponsors you got?
Right now, we actually got a deal going with Brian Grove out of Canton, Ohio, number 45 car. Planning, I don't know if we're gonna run the All-Stars, but that's what it's looking like right now. So should be on the road a lot more next year, and different car. And Brian Kemino working on it, and Brian Grove, Rob Hunter, team owners, and sponsor-wise, I'm not too sure yet. They're still working on that stuff, but we'll be in J&J's, Kistler Engines, VRP Shocks, Butler Belt Simpson, all that stuff will be the same. But right now it's looking like a pretty good deal.
Hey, thanks for coming aboard on Open Throttle 360.
Thank you.
For Open Throttle 360, I'm Jim Pollock.
You know it, we know it, they know it. So you just got your license and want a new ride, but nobody will help you? Well, nobody will help you. At Pinnacle, we love new drivers, and we got your back like nobody's business. Who's putting money back in your wallet? Nobody. Who's got the area's largest selection of pre-owned vehicles? Nobody. Pinnacle Auto Sales, Route 30 in Jeanette, Route 30 Greensburg, or PinnacleAutoSales.com.
Would you like to turn your scrap into cash? For more than 30 years, D&D Salvage has been providing the best prices and the best service for all types of scrap metal. From cars to cans, walk it in or haul it in. Located under the 62nd Street Bridge in Lawrenceville, D&D Salvage pays you the best prices in the area. D&D Salvage. Visit them on the web at dndsalvagepittsburgh.com or call them at 412-781-9840. D&D Salvage. Turn your scrap into cash.
You've waited this long, let's go see the conclusion of the Jack Frost 150.
With the day done for 3 of the 4, it allows some time for reflection on what should have been done, what to do next time, what could have been, and what can go wrong will.
When I got out on the track, everything was going great. It was a blast. I was enjoying myself.
I had a blast. The most fun you can have is doing this stuff.
Wasn't the best thing I ever done, but it wasn't too bad.
The track was slick. It was so slick you couldn't even turn. I was just putting. I never even got the car full throttle.
It just was muddier, and I went through 5-gallon washer fluid in 27 laps.
If it's not muddy like this, then it's great. But if it is, it's just you're going to have a lot more windshield washer fluid. Probably anywhere from 15 to 12 gallons of windshield washer fluid to keep it going, because you got to run it at all times.
Lesson learned number 1. Never underestimate the importance of seeing.
Take the windshield out and put tear-offs on my helmet. That's the first thing.
I'm not running a windshield next time. I'm going to run without my windshield.
The very first lap, I go out, I flipped the switch for the wipers and snapped it off in my hand. So I was kind of doing some wiring while I'm racing. I had to wire the the windshield wipers so they stayed on. I didn't have no washer bottle. I couldn't see anything.
Yeah, I'll do tear-offs, and I'll do just my helmet, with the gap, leave the lens up a little bit. But I'm not going to run a windshield because it polluted my window so bad it was unreal on this mud.
Lesson learned number 2. Maintain.
I was just going slow, trying to maintain, not trying to get into nobody, and a red flag come out. I slid into a guy and blew the radiator out. I didn't want to kill the car, so I just pulled it in. So I just wish I could have seen the red flag, and that dude, I would have swerved to miss him or something. I just locked the brakes up and hit him. Another car drove underneath me. My back tires were completely off the ground. I was sitting on his hood.
I just tried to maintain, and I was picking up speed as it was thinning out on the track as cars were getting taken off. You could pick up more speed and be safe, but it didn't work out for me today. I just got caught up in an accident, and it took my car out.
Oh, and one more adage. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I was sitting in the middle of the track. I'm in a real bad place as far as I thought. And I did take a couple hits. But they weren't real bad. I didn't get hurt or anything. That was the good part about it. But yeah, it was running through my mind. I was thinking to myself, I'm in a bad place.
Went good, laps were doing good. I was doing good until I lost windshield washer fluid. Then I couldn't see, so I dropped the driver's side net down to try to maintain and try to look out and see and stuff, but then I got caught up with a few guys and got hit once, got hit again, and third guy got me in the ball joint and snapped it.
Now that most are done for the day, they'll take their lumps, lick their wounds, and go back to Mays to begin preparations for the next enduro.
I got caught in a pile up and a guy hit me in the left front wheel and pulled the axle out of my transmission. I think if I put an A-arm on, I can put it back in and I'll be able to run Sharon in the springtime.
Can't wait for the one in March. That's why I shut the car off so I didn't kill the motor. Fix it and run it again in March. Maybe find a way to protect my radiator a little better. It's sheared the steel bumper right in half.
I think I'm gonna try one more.
Jack Frost number 5 is in the books. Only one driver had the secret, and it was neither the boys from Mays or last year's defending champ, Tim Gillette.
Brad Johnson, congratulations on your victory.
Well, thank you. It's pretty muddy and sloppy out there. I think today was really all about just taking your time.
They may not have won the race, but after enduring hours of bone-numbing cold, they've won the right to say, I did it. And like the frost, the ice, the mud, and the fans, they'll be back next year to do it again.
Okay, so we've seen the conclusion of the Jack Frost 150. Your guys seem to have a lot of fun there.
All 4 of them did. 3 of them didn't finish, and the mystery driver was the only one that finished.
I never thought of windshield washer fluid as being a vital race car part, but it was at the Jack Frost 150.
Most definitely, and you don't see that in these late models that we're seeing in the shop here today.
I'm looking forward to being at another Jack Frost 150. I'm sure your team is.
They definitely are. Looking forward to it.
Well, we'll be right back with some more Open Throttle 360.
If you're looking for parts for your car, truck, or van, you gotta come to Millerstown Pick Apart. We have the area's best selection of parts and we let you pick it yourself. We offer the lowest prices around, or if you'd prefer, we'll find the part for you. Millerstown Pick Apart. Parts for newer cars, classic cars, foreign cars, trucks, and vans. Located in Torrenta, Millerstown Pick Apart is right up Route 28 from downtown Pittsburgh. Millerstown Pick Apart, 724-224-4777 or online at pickapartyard.com.
At Tire Town, only the finest service will Tire Town.
Statistics show that a lack of sideways control or lateral grip is the cause of most winter accidents. Tire Town will make sure you have the right kind of tire to bite into the snow and grip the ice, reducing your chances of ending up somewhere you don't want to be. Don't take chances this winter. Visit Tire Town today, North Atherton Street, State College.
Tire Town, quality customer service for you.
We just came from a major slop fest at the Jack Frost 150 at Mercer. This summer we were at the Wexford Starlight Car Cruise and saw some cars that are a lot cleaner than what we saw at Mercer. Matter of fact, good friend of mine, Tony Fagnelli, was there with his 70 Cornet. Let's take a look. We're at the Wexford Starlight Car Cruise, and joining us now is Tony Fagnelli. He's got a very interesting car. Tell us a little bit about it, Tony.
It's a 70 Dodge Coronet, and I wanted to build something that if Dodge was going to build a 70 Coronet today, what it would be like. I put a 528 Hemi in it, and it has power windows, power steering, power seats, air conditioning, stereo, XM radio. It has a Dana, and I put a 4-speed Lenko in it because I want it to be fun to drive, and the Lenko is pretty fun to drive on the straight.
Well, Lenko is a race-only transmission, isn't it?
A lot of guys just race with it because they're kind of expensive to buy to put on the street, but you can run it on the street. It's not that difficult to do it. It's just a little bit more work.
That's not the only race car part you stuck in this. Tell us about the dashboard.
It has a Race Pack Ultra Dash in it, but it's the street rod version. It has a speedometer, oil pressure, fuel level. It has turn signal indicators, speedometer, odometer, high beam indicator. It has everything that needs to pass state inspection. It has that on the Race Pack Dash.
And for those who are not well informed on what a Race Pack is, that's the data recorder that they have on a drag race car. So this is another version of the dashboard that you would find in a modern drag car.
Yeah, it's a race car piece. Racepack makes a lot of stuff for the drag racing industry, and they just happened to make this dash for the street rod people.
Now, you said you wanted to build something that if they were building a Coronet these days, this is what it would be. This still has a carburetor, though.
I know. The original plan was to put a supercharger on it with a hat with an EFI, but the supercharger belt wasn't going to fit with the air conditioning. So it was either supercharger or air conditioning, and I'd rather have the AC and the power steering and all that instead of the supercharger.
All right, I'm not going to tell anybody you wimped out by opting for the air conditioning creature comfort over the performance of the supercharger, but very interesting car. It's a lot different from everything else that's here. Thanks for taking the time to talk with us.
Thank you, Tom. I appreciate it.
Jim, I'm not sure if you're aware just how many GoPro cameras we had mounted on the cars from Mays Towing at the Jack Frost 150.
No, I wasn't aware, but if it's anything like this that was in that car, it's pretty beat up.
Yeah, they do take a beating. But I noticed there were a lot of other cars at the Jack Frost 150 that had GoPro cameras. If you'd like to be part of the show, go to OpenThrottle360.com, follow the link to upload your footage. Let's take a look at the driver's point of view that we got from the Jack Frost 150. Well, that puts a wrap on another episode of Open Throttle 360. We'd like to thank the entire Norris family and Iceman Motorsports for hosting us here at the shop tonight. Jim, I'd like to thank you for being a part of tonight's show.
And I'm thankful that you invited me to come down and co-host the show.
Open Throttle 360 was at the World of Wheels Car Show. You can tune into our next episode to see highlights and features from that show. As always, go to OpenThrottle360.com and leave your comments.
Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter.
See you next time here on Open Throttle 360.